Ever speak your truth and suddenly feel like you've ruined everything? Well, here's the twist. Feeling like the villain is a symptom of clarity, not evidence of harm. I've stood in that storm and discovered the shame was never mine. We don't talk enough about the whiplash of finally saying, "This stops with me." You muster the courage to set a boundary or voice the unspoken, and instead of relief, you're hit with dread. Did I go too far? Did I just break my family? Well, that confusion isn't random. It's the residue of a role you never chose. Growing up as the emotional mirror, you learned peace depended on you staying small. In dysfunctional families, attempts to defend yourself are often twisted into proof that you're the problem. Even well-meaning outsiders may say, just ignore them, not realizing your boundaries are being used against you. Over time, your nervous system equates authenticity with danger. No wonder your stomach knots when you speak up. I remember the first time I drew a firm line with a parent who always overrode my boundaries. My hands trembled as I said, "This is not okay," and the silence that followed was deafening. Days later, relatives began calling and saying, "You've always been the sensitive one. Stop causing drama." I curled into a ball and I was convinced that I had hurt everyone. But in that collapse, I realized I wasn't causing pain. I was exposing it. Part of the confusion comes from being labeled as the problem for simply naming the truth. Dysfunctional systems survive by projecting their issues onto a scapegoat. You were chosen not because you're defective, but because you're authentic. That reframe cracks open the villain story. Even once you see the pattern, grief may arise. Setting boundaries shatters long-held loyalty to unhealthy dynamics. The mind screams, "Go back, apologize, keep the peace," because that's how it survived. But guilt and fear are just emotions, not indicators of truth. They sit at the lowest frequencies of human experience. Courage and willingness move us higher toward clarity. So when guilt hits after speaking truth, ask, whose story is this? That question alone can release you from carrying what never belonged to you. Try this ritual when guilt makes you feel like the villain. Sit quietly with your eyes closed. Recall a moment when you spoke up and later felt guilt. Notice where it lands in your body, your throat, your chest, or your gut. Place a hand there. Breathe gently and whisper to that younger part, "You are safe to tell the truth now." Imagine handing back the family's blame, or any relational system that's blaming you. See yourself giving back a heavy bag back to its owner. Sense the lightness when you no longer carry it. And affirm to yourself, feeling guilt does not mean I did wrong. It means I'm breaking a pattern. This disentangles your body from inherited shame. As you practice, truth begins to feel less like an offense and more like a homecoming. Some people from those old relationships may never understand. They might cling to their narrative because admitting the truth threatens their balance. That's okay. You're not here to convince them. You're here to live aligned. As Alan Watts put it, trying to define yourself is like trying to bite your own teeth. So let your being speak louder than any explanation. We're in a collective shift. Many are realizing that they were taught to betray themselves in the name of love. And that awakening can feel like betrayal to those invested in the old rules. It takes courage to hold your center amidst accusations. Keep practicing, feel the guilt, recognize whose voice it is, and release what isn't yours. If this resonates, I've created a trauma-informed map through the dark night of the soul. It's free, and you can find the course at the link below, or you can check out the free masterclass right here. It's designed to help you locate yourself on the awakening path. And as always, may the shadow wane and the stardust remain.